Ah, nice cloudy day. Sounds so fucking hot and shit. Love it. Oh, still pretty warm out there. It's cooler than it has been. Some crow out there be popping off. Alrighty. Man, crows and ravens are all out today. Seeing them all over the place. You know what, I take it back, it's actually kind of muggy as fuck. It's not like hot, but muggy. Ugh, hate it. Go and pop. Okay. And now we're here. Sweet. And with a coffee too. And the whole shebang. And now for my doggo. It's gonna be all excited to see me. Okay. Oh, I can already hear him. What did you do? What did you do, you goof? Oh my goodness. Hello, you bouncy bouncy boy. Oh my goodness. Look at you. Ah! Good lord. You batter around. Jeez. You little crazy hoe. Look at you. Oh my goodness, crazy dog. What a crazy dog. Alright. Well, I'm hot and sweaty. Ugh, and I just fucking hate it. Ugh. It's actually warmer in here than it was out there. It's just not as fucking muggy, so somehow it's worse. Ugh. And fuck that. Ugh. And pop that off. Or something. I get so much fucking shit on my neck. I know this will help. Oh, you know what? Cold water will help too. I'm putting that all over my head. Cold ass aqua. Oh, that felt so much better. Ooh. Ah, just a little bit of cold water goes a long way on that one. Ah. There we go. Sweet. There we go. I'm definitely feeling a lot better on that one. Oh, my goodness. Well, plan on going on for super long. Because, good old fun work and all that bullshit. But, nonetheless, at least try to wake the brain up, get the coffee going. And all that shit. And mocha. Here, get some tunes going and all that shit. Bam, 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 bam. Let's go. And here we go. Alright. And my friend Logan kept me up really too late last night. Definitely gotta be honest about that one. And he was still trying to chat me up as I was like wrapping it up. I'm like, bruh, my energy has been depleted to zero. I'm hungry. I'm getting food. I was just like out of it at the end of that. But weirdly enough, I actually kind of woke up fairly okay. Like all things considered. Woke up around 1 and I was like, alright, not feeling too bad. I was looking around for a coffee and I was like, oh fuck. So I guess I had to go grab one and then I tried to find my Alicia for Zukov to, walk him around too, to give him a little walk, and I couldn't find that, and I was starting to run out, limit my time, and I was like, fuck this. Just ran up there, ran back. So I don't really think Zukov cared that much. He had his little moment of like, oh my god, you're back, and then he just kind of chilled out, so. It's a little goof. Silly little thing. He really does have like an energy of a cat, honestly. He will have bursts of energy and he's all like, oh my god! And then, like quick zoomies, and then he'll just chill out like hardcore for quite a while. The best thing is like when he starts getting a fly to chase. Oh my lord. That shit's hilarious. Just him running around trying to go like snapping at the air trying to grab a fucking fly. That shit's hilarious. And luckily, he's able to at least he's at least able to I'll phlegm through it. This one was long better out. But, he's at least caught in flies before in the past, which I honestly find pretty hilarious when he just, goes hardcore snapping at him, and then once he actually grabs one, he, will stare at it on the ground, watch it, fall on the ground, and then he'll just, dive bomb right at it. It's fucking funny. Here. See what's happening for that tube there. Anything for news? Surely has to be some shit. UNC Chapel Hill campus incident, freshman reaction. There was some. Okay, it's a video, so I'm looking up an article. So what could be going on with this? Some incident happened, so what's the news? A shooting? Another one? Fucking really? Bruh. So wait a minute, hold on, what is with this situation here? It's all clear after search for armed dangerous person. Deemed all clear? Authorities at the University of North Carolina, so UNC, on Monday issued a shelter-in-place order on campus and alerted community of armed dangerous person situation. The university first alerted students of the armed dangerous person near campus. The university issued to remain shelter in place because the suspect was at large at like 2:25. When police released a person of interest at 2:35, they warned if you see this person, keep a distance. And it's tragedy. Start new semester. So there was a shooting. But so did anyone actually, like, what happened with that? Did anyone get hurt? So I guess at UNC Chapel Hill, North Carolina, there was like a shooting, but it does not give any information besides that this person is still at large. After a man, like, okay, so please give all clear after a manhunt following shots fired. As police presence, emergency vehicles. There were earlier reports the suspect was in custody, but 2:35 UNC recent initial show was identified as a person of interest. This person. Okay, so. So yeah, the dude is still at large. The fuck? So a guy shoots a rounds off. Doesn't say anyone's hurt or anything, which is good. But the motherfucker's still at large. There's a bunch of students that, you know, are saying what they saw. Like, one of my friends worked in a chemistry lab, however, he graduated this past year and was not there. Yeah, overall, it was extremely unexpected. I will always see stuff on news, but I never expect to see things like this person firsthand. Mom had a back tooth finked out today. So she doped up on happy gas painkillers, saying silly shit right now. It's nice. Spoke for County. Yeah, there's no information about this really, besides the guy is still at large. And this is just after, you know, Jacksonville, where a literal fucking Nazi with swastikas painted all over his fucking gun, you know, happened to be, you know, committing the act. I was actually listening to some of Avash's stream he was doing earlier, and he was talking about it. And honestly, I'm really glad there's at least a leftist out there that is, you know, like, kind of talking about these issues of shootings and saying like, hey, boyo, it ain't the guns. it's like racist, hateful ideology and Nazism. That's stochastic terrorism. That's the fucking problem. Which, yeah, I would agree with that. Because it's pretty fucking obvious that a lot of these shootings tend to be people that, you know, buy these literally out, you know, like outright, you know, like within a short period of time before doing the shooting, and then we'll enact on a manifesto and like plan these things out. Like, it's not just like some spur of the moment thing just on the virtue that they happen to have one or some shit. Like, it just isn't. Like, because the thing is, like, this idea that oh, you know, this would have been stopped if you had like a bolt action rifle or like this and that. Bullshit. In fact, he only killed 3 people, including himself. Like, a bolt action rifle could fucking do that. Oh, and a handgun too. Oh, and a knife. Like, I mean, it's when it comes to these things, like, you know, when they say, oh, well, they're able to, like, you know, kill a shitload of people. Well, in America, not every fucking shooting is like dozens of people. Sometimes it is only like 3 or 4. I mean, and hey, guess what? You know, they don't like to hear it, but when it comes to like 10-round magazine capacity limits, or basically limit it to like shotguns and bolt actions and shit like that, you can still do that shit with that. In fact, honestly, it'd be more deadly because it'd be more of a higher powered rifle. Like, a hunting rifle is more powerful than a varmint AR-15. Like, because a 5.56 is more of like a varmint rifle, you know, type of cartridge. 223 5.56 is not like the most powerful round out there. Like, I mean, if you want to give the dude a fucking bolt action like 7.62 by 51 or a fucking 30-06, that's gonna put a gigantic hole and kill you. That's meant to put down deer and elk and shit. So it's like, honestly, it'd probably be worse. You know, just take the scope off of fucking bolt action, put a little reflex on there, and you got like a bolt action rifle you can use short quarters or close quarters. I mean, honestly, unless you're specifically trained on it. You realize, like, you know, when you cycle a bolt, it's not clunk. It's not like a clunky thing. Like, a bolt slide is actually super slick. Like, I mean, yeah, if you're trained on it, you could slide that bolt like. And actually, there's, you know, some techniques some people use, like where they'll kind of fire with their middle finger and kind of, you know, have their thumb down and use this finger to be on the bolt. So when they fire, they could just have both their fingers on that bolt and just, you know, already basically. You know, that's kind of the idea a little bit. And some rifles actually have the bolt designed so you could do that, like the Lee Enfield, for example. Like, you know, if you look at in the Lee Enfield models, you know, their bolts are kind of like down on the side a little bit, and soldiers were trained to, you know, fire with their middle finger and have their hand on that bolt so they can cycle it quickly. They got practice at. Oh, well, duh. I mean, it takes practice, but, you know, give enough practice and having that bolt lubricated up and slick, dude, you could easily do it. It won't be that hard. I mean, it's not like it's gonna be jangling everywhere. It's only got like 2 motions. So, I mean, you know, it's one of those things where it wouldn't be that fucking difficult. And that's why I hate this whole dumb, like, you gotta take the guns away argument. It's like, sorry, like, that ain't gonna solve shit, bucko. Like, I mean, fuck, even a single shot breech loader, you know, like a double barrel shotgun or like, you know, single shot rifle, I mean, it's the same fucking thing. You know, it's like because the only argument they're basically saying is like, oh, we're trying to minimize how many people they could kill at a time, essentially. It's like, or like, you know, limit the chance of, you know, shots going off. And it's just like, I mean, these shooters, you know, not always, but sometimes before they act on these things, they usually will practice a little bit, you know, so they get an idea about how to handle the weapon before you're just going out willy-nilly. It's all fucked up and shit, but it's, you know, what happens. And frankly, a lot of the reason why that happens is because it's built on ideology. It's sarcastic, terroristic, fundamentalist, like, extremism. You know, done by far-right Nazis and, you know, fascists and shit. Because that seems to be the predominant motherfuckers and demographic that seems to be doing a lot of the fucking shootings. Ain't it? So what seems to be the real problem? Like, the Nazis running around doing shootings, or guns being a thing? Fucking hate single shots, kick like a mule. I mean, I'm okay with them. They're fun. But I know what you mean, though. I've shot a 410 single shot once, and that kicked way more than the 12 gauge, just because it was a single shot. Still fun, though. Those bitches kick harder than 12 gauge. Well, yeah. Like, if you have a single shot 410, like, I mean, it has about the equivocal punch as, like, a 12 gauge that's like a pump action or a semi-auto gas blowback. Because at least with those ones, there's extra place for the gas to go, so, yeah, there's not a lot of force, you know, just pulling back on you. Oh, it's a 20 gauge. Yeah, 20 gauge isn't really that small in comparison. First time I use it. Probably don't want to. You don't want to start like that. Start with like a semi-auto or pump action with 20 gauge. I've shot 20 gauges so much that, honestly, those things barely got kicked to me. Hit me in the face. Oops. Well, that's why you gotta make sure you have, you know, steady grip on it. judge board that was fun. Okay, well, there's another reason why I hit you in the face. That's a revolver. I mean, if you had a rifle that was in 410, it probably wouldn't have as bad of a kick. But you had a revolver. I mean, it's like, that would be kind of like a duh. Of course it was going to probably hit you in the face. Like, you would have to have a steady, strong grip on that thing. Even I probably wouldn't risk wanting to shoot that thing. Shotgun shells is often not meant for a revolver. Not unless the revolver is designed for it, like the Judge. The Judge is designed to do that. They're capable of being interchangeable. And also, like, some rifles and shotguns are like revolvers. You know, where they actually have like a revolving cylinder. Let's see what thing we can pull up. Told you about the ex-military guy. No, yeah, you've told me about that. Here, let's see what little things are. You called me all spray and pray. That's not that doesn't give me a sense of confidence. That doesn't really give me a strong sense of confidence. I'm gonna make sure I'm at least like 50 feet behind you at that point, and behind a gigantic rock. With the Uzi, ignore with the Uzi. Well, it still gives me the sense of like, oh shit. Because I certainly would be like, oh fuck. Jesus fucking Christ. 17 parishes in Louisiana are similar since wildfire. Dude, even... Dude, Louisiana's got fuck wildfires going on. Wait, isn't there like a fucking hurricane near that? Man, okay, well, the South is getting fucked. Not bad for a rifle. Well, good thing that's all I have. And you know the Uzi has a adjustable stock, right? You can extend the stock out, and you can use it almost like a SBR or like a carbine. So, I mean, you didn't tell me that. Well, I mean, even if it didn't tell you, like, I mean, I kind of figured you would have noticed it, because it's, let's me use it as a pistol type. Well, you know that thing that kind of sticks out on the back of the gun? You know, like you have the foregrip, but then you have that little thing that sticks out right there? That's the buttstock, and you can stick that out. There's like a way to have it, like, fold out and, like, you know, like, extend out so you can actually use it up here and shit, basically. Instead of, like, holding it like it's a pistol or something like that. I think he was trying to humble me. He probably was. He was probably trying to, you know, make you, like, kind of take it down a notch a little bit when it comes to maybe some of... Because 17-year-old man was cocky fucker when it came to guns. Okay, yeah, he was trying to humble you. He was trying to take you down a notch, and you know what? He probably was at least doing alright with that. I mean, he knew what he was doing. I mean, yeah, it would be a little easy to, you know, like, shoot a Uzi with the stock out, so he probably didn't tell you that just to be like, here you go. Also, doesn't that kind of prove the point that, you know, like, you didn't know that, you know, obviously, so little old 17-year-old cocky Venom wasn't aware, you know, about a thing on a gun, even though someone was being cocky about it. Definitely suspect guns more now, Lamau. Well, yeah, well, hopefully. I would hope so, and you know, obviously, and then that ended up being the case, and, you know. I mean, that's kind of what happens sometimes, like, it's, you know, like, sometimes people kind of have this idea about, like, how guns are and shit, and you don't really know unless you actually, you know, go out and shoot one with a friend or something. Like, I mean, basically all you'd have to do is, just like, go with a buddy and, let them just genuinely, like, make sure that they, like, know what they're doing and, like, show you the ropes. So I have to play too much COD. Exactly, honestly. Like, I mean, when you let video games dictate your idea of what guns are, then, bruh. I mean, I'll grant this. Like, I mean, video games, in a sense, definitely got me more of an interest in things like that, for sure. But it's just like, obviously, it's, like, one of those things where a video game is just that. It's a fucking video game. Obviously, they can make you interested in the thing, which is when I started to actually learn about them. Goofy dog. Do know a couple guys who gaming did help him, but the games they played were hardcore military sims. Well, yeah, like, I mean, I will grant there are kind of some exceptions. Like, you got, like, Squad, Arma, even Insurgency Sandstorm. Because the game Insurgency Sandstorm, that game is genuinely, like, really detailed with, some of the mechanics. Like, for example, like, in that game, if, like, you're shooting at, somebody over a wall, and, you run out of ammo and you reload, but you get, but you're still popping over that wall, and you get shot at, and, like, you duck for cover, and it cancels the reload animation, you'll be holding a rifle without, the magazine in there, and you'll basically cancel the reload mid-reload. And if you put the mag in there, but you haven't racked, the bolt, then, because you canceled the motion then you basically just have a mag with, nothing in the chamber. Like, there's kind of like a whole little, like, system where pretty much, like, every little step of the reload is technically, it's like its own, like, reload animation. So you can kind of, like, cancel it, like, halfway through it. It's like a little neat detail where in the chaos of, like, close quarters battle, and, you sit there after, like, the first wave of dudes that ran in are dead, and you're just like, oh shit. But you forgot to, like, rack the bolt, and you have that new mag in there, and you're like, oh fuck. And then you charge in there, and you're like, tink. Oh shit. And then you just get blasted. It's like, there's little things like that can make a game, like, super hyper intense with shit like that. And then it kind of has to make you think about it, like, alright, am I racked, am I this and that, like, it makes you think more about that shit, because when you're in a regular game, when you reload the whole time, and, if you cancel it, when you reload, you just start from the very beginning. Like, you never took the mag out and all this other shit. You had a World War II mortar, but he wouldn't let me use it. Well, good. Like, I mean, I wouldn't fuck around with a mortar. He was a Vietnam vet. Well, you told me about him. I didn't know you had a motor. I don't think you told me that part of it. Use it for fireworks now. Fireworks. That is just such an American thing to do. Alright, I got this old military motor that I brought home from the service. The fuck am I gonna do with it? I'm gonna blow up some fireworks out of that son of a bitch. I mean, that just sounds like, honestly, the most American thing to do. Man, there's some stuff to check out, it looks like, but all of it's like 30 plus like little mini videos, like, good lord. Guess that'll just be stuff to check out later. Saves us hell money on buying mortar tubes. I mean, I bet. And also, I'm sure it's all, like, a lot more long term, because it's a big metal tube versus like some flimsy, like, shitty cardboard one. They should honestly make, like, long-term little motor tubes like that. Like that would like, because honestly, that would just straight up be better instead of like the weird little like cardboard ones that they kind of give you with the set. It's like, man, get like a long-term one or some shit. So you can like, buy, the motors themselves separately, which luckily a lot, sometimes you can. But, then it's like, sometimes if you buy them, it comes with one of those, and it's like, man, why they always got to be like a little sheety? It's like, they could, last genuinely way longer and actually be kind of, fun to use if they weren't, like, not good after about like 100-something uses, give or take. And if anything, you'd be kind of lucky, to have that. Some of the higher-end fireworks store sell civilian motors that are metal. Nice. Well, at least around here. Well, around here, there are certain fireworks. Mostly anything that goes, like, higher than, like, 10 or 15 feet, is technically illegal to sell and own. But no one really enforces those laws. And in fact, even the cops, like, if they catch you with it, the worst they're going to do is, if they happen to see it in their eyesight, will take it. But they're just going to lecture you how about you don't do that, and if they happen to come back around, then they'll give you a ticket. So you just, like, wait, like, 30 minutes, kind of let them go to another part of the neighborhood to do that same lecture to somebody else, and then you just kind of repeat the process, and they usually don't come back. So, I'd say it's, just one of those little situations, honestly, where, like, it's even the same thing for, like, places like in California and shit, because, I mean, I know Paul's talked about how, like, there would be, like, firework bans or, like, certain ordinances in place, because of, like, droughts and, things with fires and shit. And, of course, most people wouldn't give a shit. Like, so they would just keep launching all their motors, doing this and that, shooting off a rifle or something. I mean, so... it's just one of those things where they technically have it as a law, but if you know where to go, and at least for us on the West Coast, especially in Portland, that's Washington. Because for some reason, they don't have laws, restricting, things like motors and stuff. They're a lot more loose about it. So, and also going to Native American reservations, because obviously they don't have to abide by any of the restrictions and shit. And plus, a lot of times, they make it themselves. So if you know the right place to go to, you can get some fucking powerful ones. Get the good shit. Sleep alright. Yeah, that just slept pretty good. I had a warehouse dream where I was in Portland naked and everyone else was around you. It's like Portland was a nudist colony? Well, it's not. I mean, we do have, like, the naked bike ride event, but that already happened. That's part of, like, Pedalpalooza and shit. So, I mean, we got little things like that, but is there, like, I'm trying to think if there is, like, maybe, like, some colony like that in Portland. Because I know there's, like, little, like, kind of collectives and stuff like that are, in Portland, but they're not really, like, big, and they're more or less just kind of, like, more of, like, kind of a collective neighborhood thing, more so than anything else. Like, kind of a place where just, like, little, like, shed-size, little, like, single-room little studio homes, basically. Like, mini homes, and then, like, like, a community garden, and it's, like, basically kind of like the neighborhood that kind of, collectively, takes care of it, and some of the people, live there, and some people still live in the general neighborhood. I mean, it's kind of a, a little bit of a mix of both, but it just kind of depends. I don't really know too much about it, because there's not really that many, and I haven't really seen any of them. I know they're around, I've heard of them. I know there's, like, one not that far away from me, like, somewhere in, like, the southeast Portland area, but, again, I just don't know where the fuck it is. Which made a good point about how most internet communists are class fascists. I'd say, like, a lot of the, like, tanky types slash like you know. Like the bad empanadas or like the fucking like Jackson Hinkle fucking weirdos and shit. Yeah, I honestly don't disagree at that point. I mean, I do think there are a lot of lefties that just kind of play up the aesthetic of shit like that. Because honestly, I was the same way for a little bit when I first got into leftism. I kind of went through the LARPy phase of like having a hammer or sickle and this and that and shit. So it's like, I mean, it's like, I don't know, I feel like you got a little both, happening with that. Like, you got people like me who, obviously aren't closet fascists by any metric, but, kind of, play around with the aesthetic, or at least, like, amp it up in their mind, or whatever the fuck, and I do think there also are, like, legit, like, communists, like the Zizek types, and whatever the fuck, but at least, for them, I think they're generally at least a lot more, like, more open and interested to actually have dialogue and conversation. Because, like, Zizek, for example, he's talked about, it's like, yes, my anarchist friends, and blah, 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 he'll talk about how he actually does have, like, buddies, from other political spectrums, at least in leftism, like anarchists and even other communist types and shit. So, I mean, he's definitely, like, I do think there can be, people who can call themselves communists and shit, that aren't, but that's why I say, for like the Jackson Hinkle types and, some of those, like, the Caleb Malpins and whatever the fuck, like, I would consider them closet fascists, because, like, the whole MAGA communist thing, I mean, isn't that kind of a giveaway? You know what I mean? So, fuck those people. Maybe a tad authoritarian, but I don't want to be associated with fascist. Yeah. And honestly, yeah, that's why I said, like, if anything, I'd argue that a lot of those, closet commie-fasci types or whatever the fuck, honestly, probably are, I mean, might be conspiratorial, but in a way kind of like psyops. Maybe for their own general interests or purposely, but, fundamentally, their entire principles of what the fuck they do is fundamentally antithetical to, like, any genuine principle of what, like, any form of, like, far leftism, whether communism or otherwise, it actually is. So, fuck those people. And that's, coming from someone who isn't even a communist, but I'm at least willing to be more sympathetic to people who are actually principled in that philosophy, not being, like, some weird, tanky, internet echo chamber dumb fuck or something, or, like, a Malpin bro or whatever. Because at least in Portland, like, there are some people around here that, are genuinely, like, actual communists and, like, do believe the principle and the philosophy, but aren't, like, fucking, closet fascists or by any metric. I mean, or anything like that. So it's like, they do exist for sure. I mean, because I've had conversations with people like that, but, at the end of the day, like, I mean, do those, like, red fascist types exist? Oh, fuck yeah, for sure. I mean, they existed back then, when, like, Bolshevism and, and the different communist philosophies, when it first, was becoming prominent back, like, a century ago. I mean, it was happening then, too. I mean, so it's not like it's, nothing new under the sun. I don't think they're fed plants. I mean, that's why I say I don't think they are specifically. I just mean, when I say slab, I mean more like, either for, they are doing it, themselves, like, in a sense for their own grift and shit. Or, I mean, maybe, like, indirectly because, like, of some other organization. Like, maybe, for example, like how, people like Shapiro or, Matt Walsh are funded by the Daily Wire, and the Daily Wire is funded by, like, bigger political apparatuses that influence our government and shit, which includes, the feds as well, to an extent. So, I mean, it's like, I mean, it's pinpointed down the line enough. I mean, there is at least some sort of influence, probably not directly, but there's a whole chain in that fucking web. And Malpin, Jackson Hinkle, and those, like, red fascist types, they're all part of that fucking web too, whether they fucking know it or not. And honestly, for people like them, I kind of have a hunch they do kind of know. I mean, Jackson Hinkle's literally the one who started the whole, like, MAGA communist thing, so I know that motherfucker certainly knows. Like, he's, like, that dude's at least smart enough to realize shit. Malpin, I think he's just a fucking dumbass. Like, I think Malpin, like, I think honestly it's a good way to look at it. Like, you get people like Jackson Hinkle who are generally, like, you know, kind of medically valiant and know what the fuck they're doing. And then you got people like Caleb Maupin who are also just fucking dumbasses and, you know, or just, like you said, stupid LARPers. Your mom just said you have 8-cup titties? Oh my gosh, she really is on the laughy gas. What the fuck? Oh my god. Damn, Mama Vem, you know, she ain't got no filter this time. Damn, bro. Mama Venom throwing some shade. Where did my little Tokapoka go? It might be in Mexico to 4 to 6 months. Well, it's because of the money you're getting from the realtor and shit. I'm assuming that's why. I mean, honestly, that's why I say, you know, it's just like, you know, just gotta be patient with shit like that. Because, I mean, given enough time, I mean, yeah, I mean, you'll certainly at least be in this place where you can be a lot more stable and feel like you're on the feet again. And kind of feel like, you know, you can, you know, feel like you're able to kind of like let yourself get out of the shell a little bit. Because Alabama, I think, is, you know, really, like, because of how much of a backwater it is, you know, it's just like, you know, I mean, it's like, I kind of get why you just don't do anything, because it's Alabama's a backwater, it's a shithole. Like, there ain't much to do. Like, fuck, yeah, I wouldn't be going out that often if I was in Alabama, too. Mom thinks God's hand is upon us. Oh my god, I hate that shit. It's probably fortune favors the bold. Well, probably would have been better than my response. I just wouldn't be like, or it could just be the fact the realtor is actually giving us money to be able to leave. Pretty sure Gord had nothing to do with that, but okay. I would just be the asshole. Honestly, I'd just be that guy. So you said, which cop barely faces me. I mean, I am too, but that's kind of, at least in some part, why I at least try to, like, kind of poke at it. Because, like, man, I've, you know, grown up around it, and also shit that I'm just like, damn it. And I need to at least, like, kind of give some sense of a challenge to it. I mean, good lord. Even if I'm not going to be, like, a brutal anti-theist about it or some shit. I mean, goddamn. Please don't be mean to Mama. I'm not being mean to her. Listen, hope I'm not. I'm not trying to be mean to her specifically or anything. I'm just saying, you know, like, just, you know, kind of at least, like, poking at the religion part of it. Being like, I mean, come on. You know, I mean, I'm not actually, like, poking at her personally. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really give a fuck if she is religious or not. I mean, whatever. I mean, same thing for my mom. I don't give a fuck one way or the other. But, you know, still gonna be a smart ass sometimes. Makes you happy, no, I'll accept it. Yeah. I mean, you know, it's just one of those things. That's why, like, yeah, despite me being pretty anti-theistic and, you know, having my talks about that, I mean, I always do say that, like, when it comes to, like, an individual, you know, on, like, a personal level, like, I generally really don't really give that much of a fuck about that, as long as it's not, like, shoved down my throat or, like, still, like, you know, some militant extremist, you know, perspective about it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, at that point, I don't really give that much of a shit. You know, I just don't want to have it brought up or becomes a talking point or some shit, you know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things where, you know, realistically, I ain't gonna give that much of a shit. Gosh, something shoved it. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Good lord. Why am I not surprised? This bagel. Oh, shit, dude. The fucking bagel. Oh, damn. cheese is bomb. I'm not personally a fan. You haven't lived till you try one? I mean, I've had bagels. I'm just not a fan of cream cheese. Because I've had cream cheese before. I'm not a fan. I like flavored cream cheese. Like, if there's, like, a lot of, like, blueberry or some other shit in there. Kind of okay with that, but just regular old cream cheese. What about cheesecake? I like cheesecake. I could like myself a good old cheesecake. There. I'm gonna finish the last little bit of my coffee and catch the last little bit of this bowl. Then head out off to work. Which, boo. But hey, at least it's my Friday. Whew. That was large. Work 16 tons, what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. That's a good song. I haven't listened to that one in a minute. Might listen to it on the way up to work. But, anyway. Peace out, and of course, I'll be back around after work, and have a little fun vibe, and chill, and kick it, and all that fun shit. So,